And we are live. Hello and welcome to Living Abroad. My name's Alex, and in this video, we're going to have a guest that lives in Mindanao with his Filipino wife. We're going to find out what life is like for someone that's living in the mountains and not just in the city in Manila or big cities like Cebu. Right now, I'm just waiting on him still, probably trying to get some internet connection or something. We'll see what happens. So, once he's here, I'll definitely go ahead and add him to the stream. um, I don't see anybody on here. Sometimes it takes a while for people to show up on my screen as far as viewers. So, guys, if you can see me and hear me, please let me know in the comment section. And as usual, I'm going to answer all your questions regarding life in the Philippines. And hopefully, our guests can go ahead and shed some light on a different side of life in the Philippines for someone that doesn't want to live in the cities, and that wants to live somewhere in the mountainous regions of Mindanao. I've heard a lot about Mindanao and I haven't been there. Hopefully, I get there soon. Alfred's here. Says hello, hi, Alfred. Okay, now I'm starting to see everybody. So hello, John. Hello, Alfred. Loud and clear, says John. Thank you so much. So I'm glad that you guys can hear me. DG says always a pleasure to see you on here, brother. I enjoy your live streams, and we miss Palm. Yeah, she's in Thailand right now. She's the best. Hopefully, one day maybe she can join us in a live stream as well. John says you're cute. Well, I think you mean Palm's cute, but thank you. I'm cute like that too. It says, sorry, one second. I'm just speaking to our guest. You don't have Chrome, so I think our guest might be a little bit late. Uh, if sorry, I'm just talking to him right now. Okay, so he's just having some trouble logging in because of the link I sent him requires Google Chrome, and I think he's using probably Safari or another web browser. Regardless, he'll be here shortly. Um, Israel, I think that's how you say your name. Sorry, bro. Hello, hello from New York, U.S. We'll be there soon. That's amazing. I hope you get here soon. Hello from Cebu City. Oh, John is in Cebu. Interesting, John. I didn't know you were in Cebu. I'm actually in Cebu right now, of course. If you guys been following the channel, you know where I'm at. And today I was gonna go to the immigration office and extend my visa, so that's gonna be interesting. I mean, not really interesting. Over here is very straightforward. But the plan is to make a video because of you guys that would like to come here and extend your stay past the 30 days, so you can see the entire process from start to finish and get an idea how much it costs, what you need to bring with you, so on and so forth. I think it'll be very informative. Even the even though the views will be really really low compared to my other videos, I'm doing that mainly for you guys so you have an idea of what to do and what to expect when you come here, because I know sometimes it can be stressful and some people even pay agencies to complete their visa extension. It's not necessary. Honestly, you can do it yourself. It just takes a short amount of time and it's very straightforward, but I'll show you guys all those steps anyways, which should be fun. Um, so right now I have Chrome on iPhone, apparently not laptop. I'm trying to phone. Okay, take your time. So I don't want to be panicking, oh, I'm not on the live stream. So I guess we're just waiting on our guest to show up so we can ask him a bunch of questions. And I'll keep you guys updated to what's going on with me. So far, I've been just meeting people here in Cebu. I met a couple, maybe three other YouTubers for collaborations. So watch out for those coming on the channel. I might even release a video today, maybe tomorrow, because I have a lot of content and I don't want to just sit on it. But I also don't want to saturate my content where I'm releasing something on a daily basis. I just don't want to overwhelm you guys either, because I know some people might not care. So Peter's here. Hello, bro. Hello, Peter. Nice to have you on the chat. Um, I got into a little bit of not an argument, but like, so I'll tell you guys how Roger and I, our guest today, got in contact. So I posted something on the expat uh, Facebook group, and if you've ever been on there, you know sometimes it can be a little bit toxic, that whole environment. So, but I posted something saying that if anybody has an interesting story or they want to share their story on my live stream, they can go ahead and contact me. And in return, they can go ahead and promote their business or social media or something. because guys, there's 80,000 subscribers on this channel. There's a lot of people watching this even after the live stream. So I figure it's a good platform for someone to go ahead and make an equal exchange. For them to be a guest on my show, you guys get informed, I have content, and for other people to go ahead and share or promote the business. And one person was saying, such as, "Oh, you're just making money off of people." I'm like, "Well, buddy, did you read the actual, post?" First of all, whenever I do partnerships, I haven't done many, but I've done three. Anytime someone reaches out to me to have a 60-second integration in my videos, my base fee is 500 US dollars plus whatever signups I might get from that person. And this person on the channel, whoever that may be, gets over an hour usually of free press, promotion, whatever. So I thought it was an equal exchange, plus all the other stuff that I put into, like my time, the equipment that I have to use to make the videos. It became like a real educational thing. I just let the guy know, like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Myself and other people that put these videos out, there's a lot of work and time that go into it, and nothing in this life is free. It's the browser. Okay. All right. So I'm sure Roger's going to join us soon. Um, Milagros says, "Hello, good morning. Nice watching you. Thank you for being here. Good morning." Andy's here. Hello, Andy. And Peter says, "We spoke a lot about Filipino and Philippines, but no, I noticed a lot of foreigners don't speak about what goes on with Filipino themselves. Like when Filipinos see a foreigner, they are obviously happy." Yeah, so that's the one of the biggest reasons why I'm in the Philippines. In the Philippines, Filipinos are very friendly towards foreigners, right? So they are happy to see us. They're friendly. They're always waving, smiling. I get invited to have drinks with people all the time, even though, I mean, I don't drink, but I still appreciate the offer. Over here, people treat you with respect, and that's something that is very difficult to find in many Western countries. So, aside from the cost of living, aside from how we feel towards Filipinas and Filipinos, they reciprocate the similar feelings towards us, and it's wonderful. And in the past two videos, I highlighted how approachable they are, how friendly they are, and how happy they are that I'm even trying to speak Bisaya. So if you guys haven't seen those videos, check them out because it's a real cool insight on how to even or what to expect when you're walking on the street. And it was just for me to interact with some locals that don't know me, just random people. And and I have another video coming on how to shop like a local. So I went to the open market, the biggest in Cebu, and I try to buy some groceries so you guys can see what that looks like too. Because the interviews are fun. I'm going to do a lot more interviews. The majority of the videos are going to be interviews, but it's also important to highlight some of these other things that you might have to deal with on your regular day if you ever come here. So not because you won't be doing interviews probably, so you want to see the other stuff too. Peter says, but when Filipino are within their own, there seems to be a lot of toxicity within their own kind, and we don't know about. I say that because if you marry a Filipino, you marry their family. Another great point. So our interactions with them aren't going to be the same as their own interactions with each other. That's a cultural thing, of course. They know how maybe um, I'm trying to explain this in a way that makes sense. So obviously, when they're within their own people, they know what the other person might be like because they're from the Philippines as well. Whereas, I think a foreigner is completely maybe something new or exotic or interesting, right? Whenever you see something new, just like anything else in life, if a new restaurant pops up, you're gonna be like, "Hey, I wonder what they got going on in there. What are they serving?" And I might go sit down at the table with enjoyment, excitement, and looking forward to something. But if I see McDonald's, I'm like, "Ah, it's McDonald's again. It's so fatty. It's got this and that's expensive." You know some things about that. So maybe that's why. And yeah, that's the unfortunate truth that sometimes when you marry a Filipina, you marry their family, and I hear that often. So I've had that answer question several times on the channel. I can't speak because I don't have experience, and it's not easy to generalize a lot of these things, but it does happen where you're expected to take care of that family. You're expected to maybe provide some support in some way. I mean, those are regular things that a Filipino, I think, coming from the province or something, would be expecting because 90% of the times, a lot of men that marry Filipinos, there's a huge age gap, right? And there's a huge discrepancy, or not discrepancy, but like there's like you have to understand why that person might be interested in you, right? And there's no need to offend anybody. Like of course you can fall in love. Doesn't matter what age, but when you first meet someone, there's obviously a physical attraction or what they are bringing to the table. So of course a Filipino might see, oh, okay, this person is gonna provide me with something that I don't have right now. Peter also says, and I feel like foreigners need to know deep inside, especially marrying. Not sure. marriage is a big thing, and it's not just in the Philippines or Filipinas. In any country, like even Canadians, Americans, we all have secrets. We all have family issues. There's a lot of things that we need to consider before marriage is a serious thing. You're committing the rest of your life to that person and potentially their family, and you want to be in good terms with your in-laws and their extended family. Nobody wants that drama, right? So, yeah, you got to be sure, no matter who you're marrying from which country, that you get along well and what the expectations are. That's the biggest thing I think in life. Like if I'm in a relationship with someone, they know exactly what I'm expecting from them, from their family, or whatever, and vice versa. So if I get into a relationship, I let them know I don't believe in marriage. You're not gonna marry me. It's not something I believe in. First of all, if you guys don't know that about me, I'll be a life partner. I'll commit, whatever. But as far as getting a piece of paper, so I can go ahead and have a $60,000 party where people could talk shit about me behind my back, no, I'm not doing that. I'd rather invest that into a property or a house or something meaningful for us and our future. And the other thing is like gifts and dowries and all that. No, I'm not paying your father so I can marry you. All these weird things, So, and that's just who I am. If somebody doesn't want to marry me for that, that's fine. Then don't expect all these things. And then on top of that, like for example, if I'm in a relationship, my girl's not gonna have Instagram. No, no, they're not gonna have Instagram and like post ass pictures everywhere because they want to feel happy. No, you don't need that attention. Everybody knows what all these social media things are. Let's not kid ourselves. You want to feel happy? Take a picture, keep it on your phone. You don't gotta go be posting it on social media so other guys can drop in your DMs every other day. And when you find someone that's better, you go ahead and talk to them. I'm not about that life. So, um, but if I was maybe really heavy and maybe a lot older and I had nothing to offer, maybe, and I wanted to be with a very young, attractive person, and then at that point, obviously, I don't have as much bargaining chips, right? They can probably do whatever they want. I'm getting way off topic while I'm waiting for Roger. So let's see what happens here. Philip Massey, hey Alex, based on your last video, it looks like you met up with Dan from Vagabond Awake. I did, Philip Massey, because of you guys. So last time we did a live stream, a lot of you guys mentioned Dan from Vagabond Awake and how much money he was making, and I said, no way, I had to see this for myself. So I think it was Jason, one of the subscribers on last time, sent me one of his um, a poster on Instagram that he is having a meetup right in IT Park, like 2 minutes away from me, which was yesterday. So I emailed Dan saying, "Hey, it would be cool to meet you because a lot of people say we should get together." So him and I did a video together. He interviewed me and I interviewed him. So we're gonna release that video at the same time next Wednesday. So look up for that video, and you guys can see each other's story or his and I stories. And yesterday I also just dropped by his meetup just to say hello because I was in the area. He's a nice guy. I met Kyung as well. I believe his girlfriend. We didn't get a chance to talk too much with her, but regardless, a very nice couple. Nice guy. He's been doing it for a long time. I think since 20. I don't know. I can't remember. Probably 10 years. He's got a YouTube channel, so he puts out a lot of informative content. Peter says, and also ways of how to deal with parents or relatives constantly asking for money and guilt trip you. I see a lot of people complain about these, especially on forums. Sorry not to sound negative. Peter, it's not a negative thing, it's a reality. But because it doesn't really apply to me and I don't want to dive into people's family problems, I don't have too much content on that. In the last 2 or 3 videos ago, when we interviewed David from Belgium, who is planning on taking his girlfriend to Belgium, I asked him about that. And he really gave some really good answers. So if you want to check out some of his answers, watch that video. But essentially, he said the same thing as I'm saying, to basically be clear if you don't want to support them or if you can't support them. Or if you do want to support them, set a budget. Say, based on what I'm earning right now and what I have, I can afford to give you guys $100 a month, and you do what you want with it. You can. It may not be much, but 5,000 a month can be groceries for a month here. You don't know. So that's just an example. You want to give 10,000 a month? Sure, go ahead. If you love your wife, if you want her family to get out of poverty, maybe that's something you want to do. But if you feel like you're getting taken advantage of, then that's not a situation you want to be in. And I don't want to be with somebody that's okay with that. If my girlfriend is okay with her family taking advantage of me, then does she really care about me, or does she just want money? As simple as that. It's not that difficult. I mean, once you're in that situation, it can be difficult. But beforehand, I think that the build up to all that is the important part. Philippine Bound says it depends on the family. Also, city versus province girl too. Here's another thing: the city versus province girls comes up a lot. Now, it's no secret that if you go to the province, chances are you're very likely to meet a woman a lot easier than the city, because in the province, there's less opportunity to meet foreigners, less opportunity to earn money, basic common sense stuff. And in the city, somebody might be starting to get independent. They might see a lot of foreigners, so you're competing against a lot more. But I don't know. It really matters of what you're looking for in life. If you just want peace of mind, if you know that you're making exchange to provide a better life for someone and their family in exchange for them to take care of you, cook for you, care for you, and treat you like a man, and is very most likely a lot younger than yourself and still very fit and healthy and attractive, then that's fine. I met a gentleman 2 days ago. He's from the U.S. I have an interview with him. I won't tell you his name because, anyways, but he's telling me how he doesn't care. He's like he gives his girlfriend money all the time to go shopping, and she got an attitude. And he said a lot of like things that you and I might not be okay with, but he was, because he was in his 70s, and he's like, you know what? I don't know how much time I have left. I want to be happy. I want her to be happy, to be with her friends, and that's totally fine because they have an understanding. She wants something, he wants something, and that's fine. Uh, American entrepreneur John's here. Let's say hello to John. Hi, John. The Facebook expat groups are the most toxic part about the Philippines. They can be, yeah, for sure, because that's where everybody goes to vent and complain and talk smack, um, just to, you know, it's very, very toxic area. And you can post something as simple as, oh, anybody knows where to buy some fresh mangoes or something. Somebody could be like, why don't you go and immerse yourself into the culture and be more useful as a human being, you piece of shit. Like, I'm like, whoa, relax, buddy. I'm just trying to find some mangoes. There's no need to be so angry. There's a lot of angry expats here. And that's why last time we did the live stream about should you avoid foreigners in the Philippines, right? Because sometimes, honestly, they can really bring you down. The energy around some of the expats here, not personally, but I know they are because I've heard about it on group chats and whatever, can be really bad. Let's check in with Roger. Let's see what the process or the progress of his Google Chrome is. Because when Roger reached out to me and he said he was married for so long with a educated professional Filipino living in the mountains of Mindanao, I'm like, I got to hear about this because I'm sure it's very different than what I'm used to here in Cebu. Okay, so Peter also says, um, know what also makes Filipino much better than Western girls? Filipino will accept guys that's shorter than them on average. I've met some Filipino that tell me they will accept a shorter guy. Yeah, of course. I mean, not just shorter, fatter, older. They don't care as much as Western women, but that can also, let's be honest, go hand in hand with like uh, Westerners being much more desirable in Asia, right? So I think if that same Filipino went to the U.S., she might change her mind about what she's okay with and she isn't, because there she has thousands upon thousands of options. So of course her standards, let's say, or her preferences will go higher. No, it is what it is, guys. Sometimes there are universal attractiveness standards, I guess. But oftentimes, once you pass that barrier or that first step, you really start to care about the person as a human being. Like, I have preferences too, but I've also dated people that don't even fall into those preferences because they were such an amazing person, but they brought something to the table that I wasn't initially looking for. Hey, Alex, good topic. Hey, Dario, thank you. Welcome. We're just waiting on our guest here, so please bear with me, guys. If not, I'll try to like keep the show going, just by my lonesome. That's the other thing, guys. So after, I know I said this last time, but I'll say it again because it's important to me. On Saturday, we're gonna have Cassandra here. She's a fellow Canadian. She is a professional diver and only 22 years old, and she's making a big difference in the Philippines. She's rescuing dogs in Camotes Island and has this project of completely eradicating stray animals. She has 10 veterinarians signed up. She has thousands of things like she's doing big things and she's doing meaningful things, and I want to try to promote her cause. So please join us on Saturday just to get to know her, why she's doing this, and actually what she's doing, because there are people that are making a difference here, and why not try to highlight those people for what they're doing. And so yeah, join me on Saturday at the same time so we can meet Cassandra. I'll post that a couple days before we go live, so you guys have plenty of time to join. So I'm excited about that because I met her on the street, and when I was talking to her, it just became really amazed by the things she was accomplishing at 22 years old, and made me kind of question my life, you know. So she's doing big things, and that's coming on Saturday. And I'm gonna try to do that more often. So we have that segment now, I guess. Meet a Filipina. Oh, here's another story. Not to like be negative, but today actually, initially, a Filipino girl messaged me saying, "Oh, I'd love to be on your show. I'm a Christian, and I want to find someone that's meaningful or helpful, or whatever." So I'm like, great. So we talked back and forth, and she had like hundreds of questions. So I spent a lot of time letting her know what the process is. I showed her examples of the live streams. I answered all of her questions. Like, if you want to have a phone call with me and, tell me exactly what kind of things you don't want to talk about, whatever. So we did all of that. And then last minute, basically, when we're supposed to have a video call, just so I can, see her and answer some of these questions, she completely ignored it. I know she saw the message. She read it. The next day, she said something about, okay, are you ready to have? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. It doesn't work that way. You can't. I can't rely on you to be on my live stream after making a thumbnail or something. My guests and subscribers expect me to meet someone, and then you don't show up or something. So I'm like, sorry, but you need to be more professional. You can't just ignore someone for a whole day on something so important. At least to me, I get it. Maybe it's not important to her, but why reach out to me? Why ask all those questions? Why agree to it? Why send me photos of yourself? And then there was no reason why she didn't meet us at the time of the meeting for the call. She didn't explain herself. She didn't apologize. She didn't give any reason. She's pretending like that didn't happen. By the way, that's going to happen a lot in the Philippines, guys. If you're coming here and you're going to meet somebody, I guarantee you at least 50% of them won't show up, or at least just ghost you, ignore you. It doesn't matter about who you are. It doesn't matter how attractive you are and how much money you have. It's just something that happens here. So keep that in mind. You're going to get about 50% of them not showing up, about maybe 20% making excuses or whatever. And I'm going to do a whole series of red flags that on the channel, just to give you guys a better idea. I'm here. I'm talking to people. I'm seeing people. I've experienced myself in the past. So you guys should be prepared. Okay, let me just send one sec, guys. I'm going to send. Hmm, Sorry, give me 1 second because I want to try to figure out our guest to join the live stream. And if he can't, then it'll just be myself. And I'll change the thumbnail after the live stream so people don't expect to see someone here and they're not here. So I'm going to send him the link again just so he can try to join. Maybe it's different. I doubt it's different, but we got to try, right? Sometimes this happens, technical difficulties. I know one time I couldn't log in either with Sharon and Wang that were here. I should have let them continue the stream, but I ended it. Regardless, you do this and you learn, right? So let me just do this. Talk now. Okay, okay. All right, so let's get back to some questions here. Philippine Bound says, my Filipino will come to Canada for a few years before I move to the Philippines with her. That's great. Why is she coming to Canada? Just to experience life in Canada, to be with you, to get your things in order. Because that's another thing. A lot of people say, don't bring your girl back home, which is understandable. I've asked that question on camera on the video a couple times, and people have given some great answers. And if you can't trust your woman in your country and you want to marry her, then maybe you should reconsider, right? So I know it's a risk. I understand, but you have to be able to trust the person you're going to marry, regardless of all the temptations around her, like better looking dudes, richer dudes, and just the possibility of living in Canada instead of living in the Philippines if they marry somebody in Canada or the US or whatever country you're from. So, yeah, maybe something to think about, right? It's not really, um, yeah, if you can't trust them to be in a whole new country with you, then maybe reconsider marriage, but that's just my opinion. So you should be able to trust them. Try that. I sent this guy another link. Let's see if he can join. But these are all individual cases, right? But I hope that you guys have a great time in Canada and that you come back to the Philippines with her. Preach, brother, preach. You're making a lot of damn good sense. Thank you, DG. I think I'm an intelligent man when it comes to some of these things. Okay, I'll tell you guys another thing. Last time we did this live stream, guys, I sometimes get a lot of hate, not a lot, some hate and some negative comments. To me, it doesn't bother me. It rolls off my back. I don't care what people say. I don't get offended. I don't get sad about it. I don't go and cry about it. It's not something I it affects me, right? I said some things that offended somebody and they start like name calling, and just because I mentioned something like about dating, the age gap, that you have to be realistic, that nobody may find you attractive. It's just because you're a Westerner, and they get with you, and then sure they could fall in love with you after they meet you, or if you met organically, let's say through work or somebody out there, and she gets to know you, then she of course loves you for who you are. I'm not saying a 75-year-old cannot love a 20-year-old. That's not what I was trying to say. My point was initially online, if you're on these dating apps and they're choosing you over another 25-year-old man or a 30-year-old man, it's not because your looks, man. Like an obvious statement. I don't know what is there to be offended about. So then he tried to he tried to bash me. I'm like, buddy, I don't get offended, but if that's, hey, I think we got Roger here. Hmm. It's a device not connected. They will need to connect the mic before they can add. Okay, so let me tell Roger to enable his mic and camera. So the good thing is, I think Roger might be able to join us now. The bad thing is, I think his camera and mic are not connected to the streaming software. It should be a simple thing as allowing, pressing a button, but let's see why he can't do it. Click the camera. Actually, Roger's a journalist and a reporter, so he should have lots of stories. Hopefully, he can join us. But I see him in the little gray box, but it says device not connected. I don't know why. Hmm. Anyway, so I'll read another couple things before we wait on Roger. Kubran says, "Sup, bro? Not much. Welcome to the live stream. I'm gonna do more of these to connect with you guys." Dari, Dan has perfected his format to show the sites and highlights of where they are visiting, combined with real numbers to support his budget outline. Yeah, no, Dan, after speaking to him, seems like he knows exactly what he's doing. Dari, Dan from A Vagabond Awake. So he's taken a lot of years and a lot of effort to uh, have posts about his travel experience. Okay. So unfortunately, Roger doesn't is not able to join because he can't figure. Not I don't know what's going on. It's okay, no worries. Maybe next time. Yeah. So sorry, guys. I don't think Roger's able to join because for some reason he's not able to join. Remove from the studio. If you want to prevent this person from joining, you should ban them instead. Kick. Okay. Well, sorry guys. It's gonna be just myself. I hope you're not disappointed, and I'll change the thumbnail and the name of this live stream after the live stream is over. Yeah. So Dan knows what he's doing. If you guys want some real numbers about retiring in some of these countries, please check out his channel, Vagabond Awake, specific to an area. Okay, I think that's about the previous comment about Dan. Philip Massey says, "How are you getting around Cebu? Is everything within walking distance to where you live?" Yes. So I live. Whoa, it's getting really dark out there. Oh yeah, there's a storm coming to the Philippines, guys. So on Friday, it's supposed to hit hard. Anyways, I live across IT Park, and IT Park is pretty much 200 meters from me. So very, like 4 minute walk, very easy. Ayala is even walking distance, and it's probably about 1.5 kilometers from where I'm living, or even less than that. So everything's within walking distance. And within my area, there's lots of cafes, restaurants, there's even nightclubs, lounges. Everything is here within walking distance. But I don't walk to Ayala. 1.5 kilometers in this heat. Personally, I just paid 30 pesos or 40 pesos, basically 80 cents, to get on the back of a motorbike, and takes me there within 2 minutes, just zigzagging through traffic and everything. Now, if you're not comfortable getting in the back of a motorcycle, from here to Ayala, it's less than 100 pesos, so under $2 in a taxi. So think of it that way. And if you really want to save money, you can just pay 10 pesos. 10 pesos, that's it. It's for 20 cents to get in these regular public transportation jeepneys. They call them the big, like, I don't know how to, jeepneys, a jeep basically with open windows, and it'll take you there for 10 pesos, 20 cents. And if you want to upgrade a little bit, you can get these like air conditioned buses. They're like a smaller or bigger version of a van, let's say, and they'll take you to wherever you want to go for 20 pesos. So a little bit more, but it's air conditioned. So you have several options if you want. And I highly recommend, if you're coming to Cebu, to stay within those areas. A lot of people stay at Lapu-Lapu, Mactan area, which is like the small little island where the airport is. But I don't know. I've never really been there. I can't really say much about it. I feel really comfortable here. But if you want like the resort type of life with everything being accessible, I know that a couple of guys I spoke to live there, so they love their lifestyle there. Bobby from Bobby's Angels YouTube channel, I interviewed him. He's a gentleman in the wheelchair. He's going to be on the channel as well, with his wife, his sister-in-laws. So he's got a good thing going on over there. So, but yeah, for me, everything's walkable. I'm terribly sorry with this hitch. By person, it's not no worries. It's okay. All good. Thank you for trying. Roger's upset he can't join. I'm like, don't worry about it, buddy. It happens. Not a big deal. Alrighty, we got 55 people on live stream. Whoa, those numbers are going higher and higher since I've come back to the Philippines. I know before I left, we were hitting like 200, 300 people. So we'll get there again one day. You guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, use the super chat, super stickers, anything you want to do. Ask you questions mainly. That means a lot to me, so I can continue with this live stream. Rick. Hey, Alex, welcome back to Cebu. We should meet up. Hit me up, Rick. My email is all over my About YouTube page. Reach out to me. We'll get together anytime, bro. Filipina and the Foreigner. Oh, I guess this is another vlog on the channel. Looking for a place to rent Davao area at the end of August. Can't seem to find any great deals like available last summer. Let's talk about inflation. Now, even me being away for 8 months or so, I've noticed prices have gone up. So this is something that happens worldwide. It's something that we have to prepare for, that you're going to have to pay. So Roger's still apologizing. What a good man. I'm just going to tell him not to worry and to take care so we can continue. Okay. Yeah, everything's gone up in prices. So I recommend, if you can, just try to do it once you're in the country, right? So you'll just have to take a small hit in the budget. I would rent a place for a week somewhere through a hotel, Airbnb. And once you're here, you get a much better understanding of where to rent, how to rent, by just talking to people, walking into condos, seeing if there's any units available. For me, sometimes that's how I do it. Usually I rent through Airbnb and message the host saying, hey, I noticed you have a place. Instead of 500 a month, would you accept 350? And a lot of times they say yes. If they say no, that's fine. Try Facebook groups, go to Davao Rentals and see what's out there. It takes some time, and for some reason, Philippines accommodations is not as good as other countries. But if you want Western standards of living, or if it is as good, you have to pay a little bit more than what you might have expected. Philippine bounces, be polite and respectful to all Filipina will go a long way. Yeah, of course, just like any other country. Respect is a big thing. In Thailand, a lot of foreigners go there thinking they're like king, and they sometimes are rude to the locals. That's some stuff that I noticed myself. And same thing can be said here in the Philippines. The guys, you gotta treat people with respect, and they'll go ahead and do the same thing to you. Philip Massey says, Have you ever tried banana Q? I heard it's amazing, but of course it's a fried dessert, so why wouldn't it be? I haven't tried banana Q. It looks too sweet. Oh yeah, I did. No, that's a lie. Palm and I tried it last time I was here. So yeah, I did try it, and it was delicious for sure. If you're a dessert person, I usually have to have coffee or something with my dessert. So for me, it was good for sure. But it's not something I'll get regularly. It is just fried banana with like nice caramelized sugar on top of it. So pretty cool. Marco Polo, Marco Polo. Finally, I catch you online. Do you plan to stay long in the Philippines or miss Thailand? I just got back from Singapore and Kuala Lumpur. KL is amazing. Guys, every single country in Southeast Asia is beautiful for a different reason, right? For my lifestyle right now, I think I'll stay in the Philippines a little bit longer, and I'll try to do some vacation time away from here a week or two at a time if my budget allows. But yeah, of course, I miss Kuala Lumpur was I think the most surprising place I visited because I didn't have high expectations and I didn't know what to expect, but it was really impressive. It was a really really modern place. People all spoke English. The food was like a fusion of Indian and Thai or whatever, or Chinese, I should say. And I got a lot of love from the Malaysian people, as you can see from the video numbers, right? They just loved the videos and they appreciated what I was doing. It was really cool down there. Saw you meet up with Vagabond Awake. Very cool. Yeah, Roy, we met up, and I got videos coming about that as well, so it should be exciting. Uh, Marco Polo says, "Have you heard some stories about Cebu scams I read online?" Scams, you say, my friend. Please do share what scams does you talk about. I have not heard of any scams specifically, so please let me know what you're talking about. Maybe refresh my mind. Jason, what's up? Elon Musk has technical difficulties today, so no worries. Even Elon Musk has technical difficulties. Well, thank you guys for being understanding, and thank you for still watching this, even though Roger's not joining us. I feel like that's going to happen often if I keep inviting guests because you have two sides, right? So I might be able to get into the chat with my internet and all these things, but the other person may not. Sometimes they might even cancel last minute. Kubran says, doesn't matter. Just spending time listening and messaging you is good and enjoyable too. Thank you guys. I'm hoping at least I might be the main reason you guys check out the channel. It's always nice to hear other people's stories as well. But when Palm is not here, sometimes I feel like nobody cares either. So I get a little bit sad. Anyways, back to the questions. I heard so many stories of ladies brought to our countries and after kids or weddings, divorce, find someone else, most times related to money. It does happen. This is what I mean. This is why people say don't bring your woman back to your country. So because that Western influence is a real thing. It's gonna rub off on them, and they might realize, you know what, this guy's cool, but I got another man that's 30 years younger, or 4 feet taller, or something. He got more money, or he just has more time for me because you might be working still or something. And slowly they might stray, and it's the same kind of thing. Not really the same here, to be honest. I think if you're here, chances are much less, right? Because one or two foreigners are walking around. Mathematically speaking, yeah, it's much more likely to happen in the West than it is to happen in the Philippines. Dari says, hit that like button, folks. Thanks, Dari. Kubran says, when are you going to Turkey to fix your hairline? Hello. Remember that one for the last live? Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, buddy, man, leave my hair alone, dude. What are you so mad about? But yeah, I remember that. Rick said, if you sponsor someone to go to Canada, you're on the hook for 3 years financially, even if your relationship goes sour. That's the other thing, guys. Remember, some of these immigration laws, I'm not very familiar, but that does make sense, and I've heard of it because you're sponsoring somebody in that country. The government doesn't want anything to do with it or have to pay for them. So even if you break up with them and she wants financial stability, you're responsible for that. And there's a lot of like legalities in that as well. So be sure that when you're sponsoring someone, you're taking on a very, very huge responsibility, and you better be very solid or sure that your relationship is 100% stable, and the trust has to be there before you bring somebody to your country. It's not a small feat. So, oh, the old permission software. Yep. Marco Polo. A girl I met in Malaysia, she managed to get a couple visas and not split her boyfriend in France so you can go work easily in Europe. Smart, huh? Yeah. It, Peoples, listen. Women have options. Men are stupid. We Like we're just dumb. We see somebody very pretty or even average, even shit, maybe not even pretty. You guys see all these social media with that very big girl thinking she's a 10 out of 10. Anyways, we keep giving and they keep taking. I don't even blame these girls. If men are so stupid to keep sending money, like then why wouldn't you? Why would I work if I could get some stuff for free? You know, these girls are online talking to hundreds of guys literally, and they're getting, let's say, $10 from here, $10 from there, $100 from here. They're walking around with iPhones and designer clothes and designer bags just because of the looks and just because we men keep giving, thinking, oh, this person might meet me one day. You know, so she has a boyfriend she's never met here. She has a boyfriend she's never met here. So she goes to visit him once a year, gets a visa to work in that country. There's a lot of these things going on. Don't fool yourselves. You're not the only one, people. Me either. I'm like, it could be whoever. It doesn't matter how good looking you are. They're always looking for the better option. It's just natural selection, unfortunately, right? So whether consciously or subconsciously, women are always looking to upgrade. That's a simple thing, and that's why they gotta. I don't know. It's a weird world out there trying to date people for sure. Now she's split. Okay. You're doing a fine job without a guest. Thank you, Dari. That's so meaningful. Rick, how would you like to try go karting in Cebu? Ton of fun. I would love that. You know, go karting sounds really fun. When I was a kid, I went a couple times. You know, yeah, lots of fun. I just don't like how there's only a limit to the speed, right? You can't go fast. I mean, you can, but everybody goes the same level, so it's hard to like show your skill. Michelle's here. Good morning. Good morning. Maayong buntang, I think. Trying to learn some of that Bisaya. Sorry, a super typhoon is looming over. Yeah, Friday. I heard it's really big coming. I don't know where it's gonna hit. I think I'm kind of centrally located. Hopefully, it doesn't do too much damage around here. But I know the Philippines is preparing for a huge typhoon coming soon. Jeff McKay is here. How long do you plan to stay in the Philippines? Jeff, I plan to make the Philippines my base. I think I'm gonna be here for a while. If I do go outside the Philippines, it might be just for like a short break or trip somewhere. But I plan to stay here for a while. Yeah, so maybe a couple months, maybe forever. Honestly, I have no plans at all. So we'll see. Dari says, I was right where you are a few weeks ago. I'll get up with you at the same point. I'll catch up with you. I'll get up with you at some point. Oh, okay, Dari. Pretty cool. So Dari's in the area. Feel free to say hello. Hey, Matthew's here. Welcome back, Matthew. Alex, in your opinion, is Philippines only desired by North Americans, Australians, and not so much by Europeans? A little bit. You know, I think Philippines from all the Southeast Asian countries has the least amount of Europeans that I've seen. There's a lot of American, Australian, and UK a little bit. Not so much even the UK. From just my experience in Cebu, a lot of them tend to be Americans and Australians. Or a lot. Actually, you know what? I've seen an influx of Hungarians. I've seen 3 Hungarians here before this time around. I never saw a single Hungarian anywhere that traveled, did interviews. It might just be coincidence or it might be some reason. So if anybody knows why so many Hungarians are here in the Philippines, and by so many, I mean 3 that I've seen. So let me know. But yeah, Matthew, it does seem like more of Americans and Australians are interested in the Philippines than Europeans. Um, Rick, you're brave to jump on the back of a bike. Have you looked at the tires on them? Scary crap. Not the ones I've been on, but sometimes I see the tires are very flat, and that's all I can see. It's okay. Brave, maybe not so much because traffic's so bad here. You're not really ever going that fast where it might be fatal. At least that's my reasoning. I don't recommend it. I just feel confident enough to do it. But yeah, if you can, to try to avoid getting on the back of motorbikes. At least they give you a helmet. Unlike Thailand, they don't give you a helmet at all. One time I was scared for my life. I remember I was trying to go see. So, anyways, long story. The first time I went to Thailand, I went to go see a girl late at night, and it was like 1 a.m. And so I was trying to get to her place, and I wanted to get there fast. And so I'm like, let me just get one of these motorbikes. And I didn't realize how far it was. So this, and because it's late at night, there wasn't that much traffic, and I had no helmet, and I was literally hanging on to like dear life to the back of that bike to the point where my shoulders, by the time I got off, were numb because of all the pressure I was putting. And I think this guy was trying to scare me. Like he was purposely trying to like frighten me, man. I was just like, okay, never again. So yeah, that's how that story went. Samantha Jones is here. Samantha, welcome. Long time no see, my friend. You get what you give any place in the world. Very true. Some places, though, you get a little bit more than what you give. Like over here in the Philippines, I feel like people are just nice and kind. But you're right, Samantha. You have to expect to be kind and polite to people to return the same kind of treatment. But yesterday I went shopping, and a lot of people. The camera does help, of course, because Filipinos are very into social media, like TikTok and Facebook and all that. And there's a reason for that. I'll tell you guys in a second. Um, but when they see the camera, sometimes, especially younger people like teenagers, they get super excited. They wave hello or just something. So that kind of makes you feel happy. And it gets you in a good mood. And then of course I start talking to people, and it just all kind of like it's like almost spreads. So it's a good thing. If you guys are always wondering why Filipinos seem to be on their phone often or on TikTok or Facebook, if you don't know, Philippines is the number one country in the world for most time spent on social media or on the phone. That's because over here Globe and Smart, and I'm sure other internet providers. So Globe is the first one, the biggest internet company. Smart is the second one. They provide with free internet for just use of Facebook, TikTok, or whatever. So a lot of time when teenagers or younger people or people that don't have money can't have internet on their phone, which they call load, um, they go ahead on these sites because they can still use them even though they have no internet. So they get free use of these sites, which is, I don't know, it's not a good thing, I guess, because maybe they could be more productive. I don't know, but I feel like the government. I don't know. I can't say. I'm not a politician or a sociologist or sociologist. Either way, I don't know how it impacts the community, but of course, if that's the only thing that's available on your phone, that's the only thing you're going to be doing. So that's one of the major reasons why so much time spent on those social media apps. A Filipina and the foreigner, a fellow Canadian, enjoy your content. Love the street interviews. Thank you, thank you. A lot of people have been saying that, and I got a lot more street interviews coming to the channel with foreigners and Filipinos. These are what you need. By the way, if you're coming here, get yourself a napkin or two or three, because when it gets hot, you start like dabbing that stuff. That's great. And get an umbrella if you want. A lot of people walking around in the heat with umbrellas to cover themselves, protect themselves, and put themselves in the shade. What we got here? Dari says the Philippines are a good jumping off point for traveling, and you can control your budget to allow for more travel, for sure. Uh, People, don't forget that the Philippines has all the beaches and the islands too. We're out here talking because I've already done all those things. I've experienced them, and I'm here as a long-term resident. Oh, I plan to stay here long term. So for me, because I'm not on a 2 week like time frame, I don't do much of the stuff that you should be doing. So if you're coming here for the first time or just on vacation, don't stay in major cities for too long. Like in Cebu, yeah, 1 day, 2 days is more than enough. Try to go to these islands, and they're all nearby within 4 to 5 hour bus ride from north to the south, right? So yeah, some beautiful beaches. So if you're into that, you're gonna love the Philippines too. Yes, please do share of the scams. Yeah, I'd like to know a little bit about that. I heard that the Filipinos are not much into dating if you're not interested in marriage. Did you find that to be true? Nah, that's not true at all. In my experience, yeah, of course, there's some and a lot, but people here are just like the West. They just want to date for fun. They just want to date to experience, to explore a short term relationship, long term relationship. Marriage, that may have been true maybe 10 years ago, 15 or 20 years ago. I don't know. But with the rise of social media and how much options women have, that you got to be someone special to marry them. I have noticed like I came here in 2019 for the first time when I don't know what it was, but the pandemic happened and I couldn't do much. At that time, I think I was trying to date somebody. Like everything has changed a little bit. I feel like even around the world, people are just less inclined to want to marry. I feel like it might just be a general statement, but just from my observation. Kubaran says, respect is earned, not given. I give respect to people who give me respect. And if not, I let them know that I don't appreciate it. And I notice racism in Vietnam, and those who do that spoil it for the others, good ones. Yeah, racism. is everywhere. And in some countries, it's a lot more in your face and they don't care or they don't filter or anything. And sometimes, this is going to sound so bad, but sometimes I think the blatant racism is more of an observation than hatred. Where if someone is really racist, they may not say it to your face, but deep down they might hate you for who you are as a person. I don't know about your personal experience, but I'm just saying, for example, kids, sometimes if you're walking by, um, I've seen, maybe have I seen this on YouTube or something, but either way, kids might just be like, hey, you're black or whatever. It's not that they have hatred, it's just they notice someone darker skin color than themselves. Now, of course, you're not talking about that, but yeah, Vietnam. When I was there, my experience, I never had any bad experiences. But then again, I'm not like, um, how can I say? I'm not very experienced with racism. The only racism I felt was in Georgia, actually, after Turkey. Anyways, you're right. Overall, it's respect. You have to earn it. You can't be given it. So 100% agree. Treat people the way they treat you because you shouldn't be ever stepped over or stepped on. You got to stand your ground. Facts. Exactly. Samantha agrees as well with Kubran. Very nice. Matthew, Rick Rick says it's 10 years in the USA if your foreign bride dumps you and goes uh, own government benefits. Whoa. So in the US, it's 10 years you're responsible for your significant other if you bring them to that country and sponsor them. World Traveler Forever says, I think it depends on the girl's education level. If you marry a Filipina who spends most of her days on dating sites, yes, it's very likely she will get the West and leave the man. Yeah, but I think when most people bring their significant other to their country at that time, they feel confident enough and 100%. So they get blindsided quite often until somebody from the outside tells them. And even then, sometimes people don't listen, which is normal, I guess, when you're in a relationship and you want to just see the best in people, and it's fine. Samantha Jones, Alex, I have a dear friend, ex vet, retired with a pension. He married the Filipino. Oh, pretty cool. Let me know if this person's happy or anything you want to share, Samantha. Yeah, a lot of people marry Filipinas here. I guess that's one of the biggest factors why so many people are here, maybe, especially retired folks because they're maybe already divorced or they have a little bit of income, stable income monthly, and the Philippines provide a good um, living experience on that budget, right? So Marco Polo says, I meant I read that Cebu scam of girls in Cebu. Apparently, many forums and groups say to be careful in the city meeting ladies. Yeah, so Marco Polo, I don't know if there's any specifics there, but I think that is common in a lot of countries, unfortunately. And the Philippines, especially because I think I don't know why, especially, but there's a lot of dating sites here. The population is high, a lot of single ladies here. So, and people usually just share the bad and not the good, right? So, just like restaurant reviews or something, if you go to a restaurant and you have a good meal, you're not going to probably go online and write, oh, I had an average meal or a decent meal. But if you had a bad experience, like a scam, you're most likely going to share it. So, there's also that as well. Yeah, but be careful with online guys. She's not your girlfriend if you never met her. I don't care what anybody says. That's my opinion. Um, Maybe she is, but unless you're planning on meeting her soon. But if you've been talking for 3 years and you haven't met, I just don't personally. I can't be that far away from someone I care about for that long. I just could not do it. Maybe you guys have much more emotional strength than I do, and even physical demands, I guess. So either way, um, there's a lot of things to watch out for, especially yeah, dating online. Just what if it doesn't make sense, then it's probably a red flag. Marco Polo, why do you prefer Philippines to Thailand? For me, it's the opposite. Please share pros and cons. I've done this many times, Marco Polo, so I don't want to get into it too much. But they both have the benefits, and the reason that I'm in the Philippines, I feel more wanted here than Thailand. It's like, come give me your money and leave. So over here, I can stay up to 3 years without having to worry about visas. As you know, in Thailand, after 60 days, it's impossible to stay as a tourist. You have to leave the country. It's actually 30 days, so you have to extend it and pay them as well. How about the Leafs? Come on, man. Rick, why you got to do me like that, bro? Forget the Leafs, huh? Uh, Filipina and the foreigner. I've been looking into the Philippines built preferably homes Have you heard anything about them, positive or negative? Prefurbished homes, I assume you mean, or prefab. Honestly, the Philippines building standards are very low. There are very, I don't know what legalities or requirements due to standard, but yeah, I don't know. Overall, the building quality here is very low, and I think American entrepreneur hopefully can shed some light on that. I know he's been here for a while and has maybe experience, but just from the buildings that I've seen, the condos, and what I see with my eyes out there, the exterior of the places, the interior of the places, a lot of these things have very poor quality of buildings. So I don't really know anything about that specific type of home either. But overall speaking, it's very low. I don't know about the standards here. American entrepreneur in the Philippines said, one of my closest friends here in is Hungarian. I've seen a lot more Europeans in places like Moalboal and El Nido. North Americans and Australians seem to come to Cebu. Yeah, good point as well. Guys, the best places are the ones that John just mentioned. Palawan is beautiful. Moalboal is very nice, but it's closer to Cebu, obviously. And maybe these people come here just for vacation. They're not retired like maybe some Americans are, so they don't have as much time to go ahead and spend long time in cities. So they just go to all the popular tourist places. Guys, just be patient, please. I'll go ahead and read everybody's comments, but if you want yours read quicker, please feel free to use the super chat, super stickers. Like this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Ask any questions you have. It doesn't have to be specifically about the Philippines or dating. Unfortunately, the title, Married to a Filipino Living in the Mountains of the Mindanao, is no longer applicable, so we're just having a chat with you guys. Feel free to ask about just general travel or anything that you've ever been curious about. Sorry, I missed that one message there. Oh, yeah. Hi, Alex. Do you think you will adopt Vagabond Awake slow travel method? I don't know if I'll be adopting anything. I kind of been slow traveling for myself for the past 3 years, right? So I spent 8 months in Turkey, right? I spent 5 months in the Philippines. I spent 3 months in Thailand when, oh no, 4 months, maybe even 5 months in Thailand when they had that additional visa exemption where you could stay longer due to COVID. So I kind of do my own thing in that way, but I haven't had a chance to really look into Vagabond Awake's content. That, being honest, I told him as well when I met him because I just heard about him 2 days ago. So, and I know whatever he's doing is working for him based off the numbers he's giving. So good for him. But for myself, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just traveling slowly and then making some videos to remember my life. Yeah, that's another great point. Philippines Bound says, when I'm in the Philippines, I feel like I can be myself. Excuse me. Yeah. So in the Philippines, you have a lot more freedom to be who you are. I'm not talking about individual freedoms. I'm talking about just like personality wise. You feel like positive energy around you. And I'm sure you guys could probably tell too my difference in my own personal demeanor when I was in Indonesia, let's say, compared to here, right? So I don't know. I feel happier here. And it's not because I'm out here like randomly dating people. It's just mainly because the people are very nice here. Everything just works for me. And that's why I came back to even the same building, an apartment and condo. So we all have our comfort zones. I try to get out of it sometimes, but why make yourself stressed if you don't have to be? Darius says social media is simply the greatest source of entertainment that allows people to feel more independent, as with average ages, would also support the social media trends. Yeah, well said, Dario. You seem like a smart person. Very good. Perfectly put. I have nothing else to add to that. I agree with you completely. Uh, Kubran says kerchief or sweat works well. A kerchief. I guess a handkerchief. Is that what that is? Yes. Philippines Bound says, you met Jonah Vibes and Dumagetti and chatted me on the phone from my Filipina. It was cool to see you do that on the video too. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you. No, that's great. Good memory. Dari, I agree with some statements. I agree. Some statements, let me just try this again. I agree. Some statements people make are simply observations and not any sort of blatant racism. There's a difference. Yeah, sometimes, but sometimes it's real, true racism, right? Which you don't want to be part of. Like what happened with Vinicius Jr. for Real Madrid. I don't know if you guys watch soccer at all, but I'm glad that he stood his ground and made some real difference in La Liga and the Spanish pro soccer league. Uh, whoa. What happened here? Samantha says it didn't go well, Alex. He got taken for everything he got, and his revenge went back to the Philippines and married another. Uh, I guess whatever works for him. I feel bad that he got taken advantage of, and not every Filipino is the same. So if he's happy, he's happy, and we don't really know sometimes. As they say, hindsight is 2020. So maybe at the time he felt very confident and comfortable living with her and being with her, and unfortunately, she did that to him. So guys, be careful. Filipina and the foreigner says, "What's your suggestion for finding the best flight deal from Canada to the Philippines?" I personally don't have any suggestion on getting cheap tickets as far as prices goes, but I think I know the best way of doing it. I go usually on Skyscanner. I put in the dates and the countries I want to visit. Then I see the cheapest flight available for those dates. Then I go directly to the website of the airline and book it from there, because I don't like dealing with third party sellers like Skyscanner or Cheapo Air or some of those other sites that you can buy flights from, because if there's an issue, you can deal with the airline directly instead of the third party, which usually don't give you anything. So that's what I do. I go through Skyscanner, find the cheapest airline and flight date. Then I go to their specific website of the parent flight company and directly book through there. Usually it's a little bit more expensive, but you have a lot more leeway and coverage if something goes wrong. Samantha says his second marriage is going well. 2 kids later, and he's 80, she's 35. Oh my God. Well, first of all, there's an example of age gap and still being very um, beneficial, I guess, to both, because he's happy. He's got 2 kids, and it's a huge age gap, but obviously they seem to make it work. So good for them. I'm really happy to hear about that. Oh, thank you so much, Matthew, for that $5. I really appreciate it. I suggest the 2-hour ferry to Ormoc and some days in Leyte. Samar is no vlogger there. Much and lots of beauty and history vlog. Yeah, Matthew, I remember last time you said that. I'm going to take a photo of this just so I don't forget, because I'd like to do exactly what you said. Just one second. I'm going to remember this message and the dates and the names and everything you said, because I would like to visit these places. And if I have some time, vlog and share a little bit about those places. Ormoc. I think I've seen it on the map. And some days in Leyte and Samar. Okay, okay. I'll take a look. Thank you. Let's go back up to the question. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. I'll try to find where I was. Handkerchief. We talked about that. Age gap. 80. There we go. Fresh. Aloha. How's it going? Aloha, brother. I be there in August. I'm going to Leyte. I'm going to rent a car for a few weeks and go around an island with my Filipina. Because of crazy traffic there, I'm getting a small car. Any advice? I'm not sure about Leyte. I don't know what the layout of the city is. And my advice would be just general common sense stuff. Of course, try to take a nice video of the car, exterior, interior. Take a video of obviously the kilometers, the gas, and even lift the hood and the trunk. Make sure you take a video of everything in case somebody says you made. Why is this not focused? Okay. In case someone says that you caused any damage to the car. Um, I don't have any experience renting a car abroad, because personally for me, it was always easier to use public transportation since I've stayed in major cities. I'm not really sure what Leyte's size is and what options you have, but if you're with a Filipina and want to explore around the island, then it makes sense to me. Get her to help you as much as possible to deal with everything, and just because she's a local. So unless somebody has anything to add to Fresh Aloha's question, guys, maybe you can help them out. But personally, I don't have much experience with that. I can't find the email for you. I want to ask you something, but not say in chat. Yeah, no worries. So, this reminds me. So I've just put my email in the chat box. Whoever wants to email me at talknowcanada@gmail.com. This reminds me about the memberships, which hopefully within the next month or so, I'm going to try to roll out for people that want to get more in depth of these travels. Have support me monthly, and I can go ahead and provide some much more in depth, detailed information for you guys. That's coming up. Age gap, I'm 56, she's 27. Okay, so almost 30, 29 years. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. How's that going, Philip Bound? Any problems with the age gap? I know there's really not any problem in the Philippines. That's another video coming to the channel, age gap interviews. So I'm going to do both foreigners and what they think of age gap, and I'm going to do a Filipinas and what they think of age gap and see if they kind of align. Since a few years ago, okay. Oh, okay. RLV, are you in Cebu? Yes, I am. RLV, I'm in Cebu, right across IT Park. I'm staying here, and I'll be here for a while until I get kicked out. I think the owner of this unit has told me that someone else is moving in a month or so, or 6 weeks. So I'm gonna have to find another place, but I don't mind because I'm already in the Philippines. It should be easier, but we'll see. All right, guys. So no more questions. Take this time to please like the video, ask any questions you have. I'm gonna have a sip of my water. And if there's not too many other questions, maybe we can end this live stream since our guest could not make it today, unfortunately. And I'll go ahead and change the name of the name of the video and the thumbnail of the video. RLV said, "Do you plan to go back to Metro Manila?" I'll be honest, I don't even have plans for tomorrow. So I don't plan the same way as a lot of people plan. I kind of go with the flow. I don't have any specific plans, but I would like to go back to Manila if I had a reason. I'm going to try to reach out to some hotels to see if they want to sponsor my stay in Manila because I don't want to pay rent here and in Manila. I don't have that kind of budget. I mean, I could squeeze it in, but why be stressed, right? So if I find a reason to go there, maybe after my lease is over here, I might live a month in Manila. I don't know. That might be interesting. I could find like a cool place. Honestly, at this point, I have no idea what's going on in my life. Filipina and the foreigner. Curious, what is your favorite content to create when producing content for your channel? My favorite, like to create, well, I like these lives because I really get a chance to talk to you guys who are always in the comment section of my videos, and I feel kind of useful. I'm providing a little bit of information wherever I can. I really do like this engagement, right? So I enjoy this, but my to make content would have to be the street interviews because they're the easiest to edit. So editing those doesn't take as long. It's very straightforward because I don't cut out people's answers. I just cut out the pauses or me repeating myself or something like that. So it's easier to edit those videos and they get the most interaction, engagement, and views. So you guys seem to be liking it. So the interviews probably number one. Then of course the food. I love eating, so food videos are great. But my least favorite content to make is definitely travel videos. So when I go to like Phuket or Malapascua or somewhere, and I make like a travel video, those are my least favorite because they take the most amount of time to edit. They're usually between 40 to 60 separate clips I have to try to put together. I have to do like overlay, music, transitions. There's a lot that goes into it. It can take up to 8 hours at times to edit a proper video. So those are my least favorite. Tari said you'd better off just renting a scooter. If you're out the province, traffic will not be an issue and you have a better time. It's amazing. For sure. Yeah, definitely. If you can rent a scooter, that would be ideal for sure. I think a scooter is a lot more fun if you know how to ride one. And yeah, it would be kind of cool to see and experience everything with open air as well. Philippine Bound says, I can't say there are problems, but being 56 and 27, my, I'm set in my ways more so than she is. Yeah, at 27, you're kind of still figuring out who you are as a person. What are your interests? What do you like? What don't you like? Your personality is still developing. So at 56, you kind of are who you are. So maybe that's the only difference. Work travel. What do you think about dating in Manila versus Cebu? I found the Manila girls to have a bit of an attitude. Really? I don't know. I never dated in Manila, but that's interesting. I guess it makes sense. It's a bigger city, probably more developed and more higher income. I don't know, but I think it's a place that might give you a sense of independence. Perhaps that's why. So they develop an attitude as well. But I have no personal experience, but what you're saying seems to make sense based off just assumptions. Rick, if you don't have patience and a sense of humor, the Philippines isn't for you. That's true, but I'll be honest. I think I don't have patience. Personally, I'd say I'm a man of very little patience. and it gets challenging in the Philippines. I'll give you guys an example. I was at the grocery store. If you guys have ever been to the Philippines, you know that's already a task. So the grocery store has about, I'll say, I'm not even exaggerating, 40 lanes, like 40 lanes. And the backed up lanes, every single one of them. So the whole process of running somebody's food and paying for it is time consuming. I don't know why. So, anyways, well, I do know why, but that's just the way to do it here. I've accepted that already. I was mentally prepared to be in line for a while. I was on my phone, not a big deal. The person in front of me had all this food and they're trying to pay with their credit card. Now, for some reason, the credit card wasn't working. So, after a while, she was trying, it wasn't working. He tried it again, it wasn't working. Then he went on his phone, called somebody, it didn't work. By this point, I'm starting to be like, oh, what's going on? And we're just waiting. And then after maybe 6, 7 minutes, and that's a long time when you're waiting in line for somebody to pay, he just goes on his phone and he takes off and he just went somewhere like outside of my vision and the woman's vision. She's standing there, I'm standing there, and the guy just left. So I'm like, okay, I'm still at this point have some patience. I waited another like minute or two. I'm like, okay, this is getting a little ridiculous. Like I'm like, miss, can you just like cancel the order, push it aside so he comes back and pay? So then she's like, she didn't know what to do. And then she took off and ran out the same direction that he did. And like a minute later, they both came back. And after I'd say about 15 minutes of just trying to pay, eventually he used another card. So I'm like, what makes you think you call your bank in time? Like normally, I think a person, if I was in that situation, I'd say just go ahead, I'll figure this out. But that's the type of thing that happens here a lot, and you have to build your patience and be ready for it. And the thing over here, whenever you pay with credit card, many places, the machine itself, the connection isn't as great, let's say, or as stable. So they'll hold it in the air or walk around or try to get the credit card to pay. And after that payment, a lot of times they write down each individual credit card payment in a little book and they put it into the system as well. So that is one of the reasons why it takes a long time to pay for things at the grocery store. Just a random situation where I had to be patient. But I've learned to be more patient in the Philippines. Samantha Jones says, Alex, I have my own opinion. It is an equal exchange of benefits. Love, maybe, but not real love. More like a love of family. That's a great point, Samantha. You're absolutely right. Exactly. I think your opinion is valid, and I agree with you for sure. Um, Kubran says, use Google Flights at the moment. A lot of flights have doubled or even tripled in price from Canada to any country. So Canadian flights, I think you must have heard that recent strike with WestJet. It really gave a bad name to WestJet. People don't trust them, so obviously the competitors are offering more flights and supply and demand, right? Everybody trying to get out, everybody trying to start the vacation or do something. Flights have gotten so expensive it doesn't justify the war in Ukraine. People say, "Oh, gas this and gas that," but oil companies made more money during the war and COVID times than ever before in history. So it's all BS. The one thing that bothers me, let's say the war in Iraq, the strike, all these things, right? Cost of living, inflation, it adds 10% more to the flight cost. But we as consumers are getting hit with like 90 or 100% increase in price. That's my issue. How do we know what is the accurate amount of increase? And all these big fat cats and politicians and corporations are just taking advantage of regular people, and we don't really know or how to fix it or what to do about it. Anytime anybody brings up anything, it's just like, oh, the war in Ukraine or supply chain. None of that stuff makes sense anymore to me, to be honest. Like they're, anyways, what do I know? I'm just a moron, right? Either way, it's not fair. It's not right to pay $3,000 for a flight for one person and a coach. Anyways, it's a lot of money, and I agree with you. Prices have gone up. Rag Jam Rock is in the house. Welcome. My 94-year-old uncle in Canada just celebrated his 26th wedding anniversary, married to a 33-year-old at 68. I guess it works for them too. Yeah, it works. A lot of happy stories. It's a big age gap, but when you consider they met at 68, not so no, not so bad. And your uncle's at 94. Good for him. I hope he's happy. I'm sure he is if he's been with her for that long. Um, Thank you for sharing, Rag Jam Rock. So, RLE says majority of Metro Manila ladies are from the province. Then I don't know. That makes no sense to me. Perhaps they've just interacted with too many people and have attitude now. Philippines Bound says, I've gotten more patience since I went to the Philippines. Yeah, you're definitely going to learn, even if you don't want to be patient here. I own it to have no patience. I own it too. I have no patience, to be honest. Even like, I'll give you guys another example. I was meeting someone for a potential something, I'm going to say, but it was more, it wasn't a business, but it wasn't like a date or anything, but I had to meet somebody. And halfway through them talking, I realized that we were not on the same page on something. So I don't want to waste my time or their time. So I told them I have to leave. I thanked them for the time and I left. I have no patience for things that don't. I can't explain it. That's not a good example. But the patience thing is, I just can't wait. I don't. Here's another thing. I went to renew my passport in Indonesia last time. They told me to come back after lunch. I went back after lunch, and the guy tells me come back tomorrow. I'm like, huh? So I went back. Oh, I went to the window, two windows down, and I showed him the receipt, and he gave me my passport. So if I had patience, I'd have to waste my entire day, come back another day just to get my passport. Sometimes having no patience helps, but I do envy people that have patience. I don't know why. I just want to share that story, to be honest. Not really patience related, more like being firm and not passive. Yeah, nice people. Trust me, sometimes you get shafted. You have to be, I guess, stern sometimes. Do you hear the roost? Oh, Filipina and the fauna. Do you hear the roosters and dogs and karaoke when living in condo situations? I am very lucky here. I don't hear nothing. Like I don't hear anything. The only thing I hear sometimes is construction because everywhere in Cebu feels like there's a condo going up everywhere. But even that I've drowned out. I don't really notice it. Sometimes I hear the band that comes on Saturdays, like just but the drums is super loud, but they're just practicing. That's karaoke here isn't as big as I thought it would be, at least in Cebu area. I can't remember the last time I heard somebody sing, but I know that Filipinos generally love karaoke. I use PAL, Philippines Airlines. It's direct and only 12 hours. Damn, you're lucky. 12 hours from where to where? I assume Vancouver, and not even. I don't even know if you can make that flight, but I hear PAL's good. Samantha says absolutely everything has gotten expensive everywhere. Yeah, for sure. So that's something we have to like deal with. Alex, what's best to do about renting an apartment? Oh, Emmanuel, great question. It really depends on how long you want to be here. Let's talk about both situations. If you're here short term, it's probably just easy to rent a hotel. I'll rent a hotel for 2 days maximum to see if I like it before I commit to like somewhere for a week or longer. Also, if you're staying here longer, try Airbnb. Sometimes it's more expensive, but at least you know it's an established person that has an apartment with other people of success. You can see reviews. You can contact the Airbnb host directly, ask for a discount. That's what I do. And thirdly, if you're staying here long term, use Facebook groups. Just go and put like Cebu rentals, Cebu condos, Cebu short term rentals. You'll see a whole majority or a whole bunch of listings and go through that as well. That's it. So for short term, probably just a hotel. It's simple, it's easy, and just rent only 1 or 2 nights to be sure that you like the place before committing. For long term, Airbnb and Facebook groups are my go-to. If you're staying 6 months or longer, you can just simply message one of the real estate agencies. Also, for long term, try a site called La Moody. La Moody. They got really, really good things there if you're staying long term, 6 months to a year. You can get some great prices there. Fresh Aloha says, I actually love your street videos with Filipino people. It really gives us viewers a great feel of the vibrant vibes and energy that the Filipino people are based on their quick thinking answers. I love it. Thank you, Fresh Aloha. I do get very positive responses from the street interviews, so I'm happy that you guys are liking it. And honestly, that's where I'm most comfortable. So I know a lot of times that comes off as flirtatious a bit or um, a lot of laughing going on in the answers, but that's because Filipino people allow for that. I can't be asking those kind of questions just from anybody. So the fact that Filipinos are very open and happy and smiling and joking, you can joke around a bit, like, and you can see a lot of times, even if I say, "Oh, do you want to go for coffee?" and they say, "Yeah," I never follow through with it. It's just to show people how easygoing they are, how fun they are, and I'm glad that you guys are liking it. Eve, hello, good morning there. I'm new. I'm here. God bless you and stay safe. Thank you, Eve. Thank you. Welcome to the channel, and I hope you have any questions you want I can answer. But thank you for those kind words and welcome. RLV, provincial rates are very low so that the ladies go to the big cities like Manila, Cebu, and Davao. You're right. I hear the province rates because minimum wage differs from province to province or place to place. So minimum wage in Manila is not the same as minimum wage in a small village somewhere in the provinces. So they go there for better paying wages. Philippines bound, Vancouver to Manila. That's the 12-hour, then wait 4 hours till I get to Dumaguete. Okay, very cool. Philippines bound. That's a really good flight. But for me, at least from Toronto to Vancouver is another 4 or 5 hours. So, but if you're in Vancouver all the way to the western point, that makes sense. Okay, guys, how much PHP Philippines pesos cash do you recommend taking into the Philippines when coming there? I personally recommend not having any cash. So depends. Let me explain that a bit. To have money in the Philippines, you can do two ways. Obviously, you can bring, or three ways technically. Well, many ways, but three main ways. You can exchange your currency to Philippines pesos and then just bring pesos with you to the Philippines. You can bring USD or Canadian dollars or Australian dollars, wherever you're from, to the Philippines, exchange it over here. Or you can come here and simply take money out with your bank card or ATM card or whatever. Because I'm a long or slow traveler, I obviously don't carry around USD Canadian dollars with me country to country. Doesn't make sense. I also don't go into a country with a lot of their own currency because I don't want to carry money around like tens of thousands of pesos in my pocket in my safe. It just doesn't make sense to me. So of course, by taking money out, I'm paying a little bit more due to, let's say, cash advance fees or withdrawal fees or whatever. But I only take money out when I need it. I have lesser amounts on me at a time, and for me, it's just convenient that way where I'm not always worried about hiding money in my socks or in my wallet if I lose something. So that's how I work. But if you're coming here for 2 weeks, let's say, then that's just something you want to kind of budget and understand. That would make sense. If you're coming here short term, 2 weeks, then of course I'd say to exchange your money with your bank, get some pesos, and just come that way. And as far as how much, it really depends what you're coming here to do, right? So if you're coming here to meet your significant other and you plan to go to islands and islands or whatever, then bring as much as possible. But just keep in mind you're just walking around with a lot of money in your pocket. So I still recommend just taking money out at the ATMs. Oh, so it's a 4 hour layover. Okay, that's not bad. I bring 10,000 pesos first, but I could use less at first. Yeah, so don't bring too much. If you bring in money, just bring 10,000. Makes sense. Bring some smaller notes so you can pay for taxis and small things that you need until you get to your hotel or your destination before you can take some more money out. All right, guys. I want to give a big thank you to Matthew already for that $5, man. Big ups to you. I want to thank everybody for asking the questions, liking the video, subscribing, and keeping this live stream going for almost an hour and a half. So we have 7 more minutes. Let's finish the 7 minutes. I'm going to continue for 7 more minutes. So ask any final questions you have, suggestions. And once again, big apologies for everybody here that was expecting to see Roger talking about his Mindanao life in the mountains. That didn't work out, but it's just an experience. Still very fun for me to chat with you guys. So yeah, ask any final questions or comments you have. I'll have a sip of this and we'll continue. Now let's talk a little bit about what the topic was supposed to be about, living in the mountains or at least in the province life. I don't have much experience living in the province, but there is a very clear difference. So I did go to a small town once and I saw the major differences in life in the Philippines and in the province. If you're living in the province, and unless you build your own home, I assume, or somebody Western wise built a home there, the style of living is very different. Obviously, you're not going to have like a condo style living with a pool and a gym and all that, unless you build your own home there. And I would assume if you're doing that and you're the only person in that area with a house like that, you might seriously consider security as far as like maybe fence or something, CCTV and all that. And do you really want to stand out like that, like a sore thumb in the middle of nowhere? I don't know. So something to really consider and think about. If anybody has an experience with that, let me know. I have never felt unsafe living in the city, but I assume if I was in the provinces and I'm the one that looks very rich compared to some locals that maybe don't have all that, I might just stand out like a target. So something to really think about. I will be going to the province because Leon Blair have invited me to visit them. They have a really cool channel helping Filipinos reunite with their families. Leon Blair Slog. Take a look at that, and I'm excited to see what life is like over there. So yeah. Roy's here says, but a direct flight from Vancouver to Manila now costs 2,000. Return or takes 13 hours and 50 minutes. Return is 12. Okay, yeah. So 2,000 is a lot of money, man. I remember when I first came to the Philippines, it was only $700, 780 for a round trip ticket. It wasn't direct, but it wasn't that much layover. And actually, I prefer layovers. I need a break. 12 hours is a long time to be sitting in a plane. So, fresh aloha. My Filipino texted me that the super typhoon is on her way on the radar to hit a day or two. Not sure. Are you aware and alert to those issues? Thanks, buddy. I'm usually not aware of any stuff like that, but because this one is a super typhoon, I think I saw it on a few posts here and there. So I am aware of it. Luckily, I mean, I wouldn't even know what to do to prepare. Like, of course, maybe I'll buy some water or some extra canned food in case it's really bad, because I know when Hurricane Odette hit, the whole place lost electricity for a long time. I mean, it was devastating. So it can get really bad. I'm hoping that it's not as severe and no damage or loss of life, but it's coming, and I personally will have to research on how to prepare. That's a good point, though. Thank you for bringing that up. What is your favorite to, what is your favorite food to eat generally while there, and what's your favorite Philippines food? Filipino and the foreigner. Generally, I go to this little night market, Cebu Mercado, inside IT Park, and it offers me a whole variety of foods. So there's Indian food, Italian food, Filipino food, Thai food, Indonesian food. So I just go in there, and every so often I pick up a random thing every night. And also, I really like the small little Italian place that's here in Cebu. They make the best pizza and pasta. So whenever I feel like I want to treat myself, let's say, I go there. As far as Filipino food, I do like lumpia, which is the spring rolls, the vegetable ones that taste really good, or even sisig, the mixture of the onions and the corn and the beef. It goes really well with the rice. So those are my two favorites. Obviously, you can get better exchange rates uh, from any SM department stores or their affiliate banks, BDO. Good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Um, Patch MCQ says, have you tried Pacari Sweet or Sweat Asian Gatorade? I have not, sir. Never even heard of that. Perhaps I shall. Maybe I will take a look and see what that is. Maybe I will not go to the gym today. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I'm feeling lazy right now. 2 more minutes, guys. I want to go strong. 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'm weird with numbers. I try to have it even and equal. I'm not like, what's that word? People that got to do something so many times. I forgot what it's called, but I'm not that. But for some reason, these numbers get to me. So that's it, guys. So the plan is for me today, I was going to go to the immigration office to extend my visa. I don't know if I want to. Samantha says, every time I eat Popeye's chicken, I think of you. Samantha, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I love Popeye's chicken. I have a whole video on Popeye's chicken on a channel that I'm sure you've seen. I think I remember you commenting. So yeah, Popeye's chicken is delicious. Yeah, I don't know. That's it. The biscuits are good too, but I just like the spiciness and the crunchiness of the chicken. Over here, of course, Jollibee is very famous, but even their KFC is a bit more spicy, I find, in Canada, but not as spicy as in Thailand. You'll get this thing where you go to different countries. although it's the same fast food brand and chain, the tastes are a little bit different and made for the local people. So yeah. Do you still miss sriracha flavored chips? I don't. I really like salt and vinegar chips, but sriracha not so much. It's a good thing. Okay, so it's a good thing, baby. Thanks, Samantha. I'm glad that I remind you of something positive, especially when it comes to food. All right, guys, I think that has done it for this video. Once again, a big thank you for everybody for being here. A lot more interviews coming to the channel, some more local stuff as well. And I'm going to try to do a local Filipino food tour so you guys can see what Filipino food look like. A couple more things. Is it much to extend immigration stay? It's 3,000 pesos to extend for 30 days. So 60 US, just under. Roy says, I wouldn't live in the countryside. I've experienced it, and long term, it gets boring unless you have a good social connection. Oh, good point. Oh, it's much trouble and hassle. No, it's not at all. It's a one-page document. It's the easiest from any country to extend your visa in the Philippines. I paid 2,000 for my ticket too. It's in November. Wow. So even booking that far ahead is still $2,000. My goodness. RLV says, have a good day, Alex. See you guys next time. Thank you for being here. I'll see you guys maybe even sooner than you think. I might release a video tonight or tomorrow at the latest. See you guys. Bye.